Here is a perspective that can make a shift in your life, bring you closer to your surroundings, people specifically. Now, I was doing, my regular walks. So whenever I'm walking, I contemplate. Well, even like whenever I do something, I'm always thinking about perception, perspective. Maybe it's a Sagittarius thing, but I was thinking empathy is not only beneficial for the other person, empathy is important for you. It brings you closer to the oneness. If you want to connect to the universe, if you want to connect to people or tolerate people, you have to have empathy. And when I say empathy, while I was walking, I was looking at people and this idea came to me. If you start to see the person that you're talking to, the person that you're connecting with, the person that you're having conversation with, if you switch the roles and imagine that you are them and they are you, you will switch on your empathy immediately, automatically. Because what you do is understand their being, or even if you don't understand it, you try to understand it. So, for example, if someone is being nasty, just remember, I'm sure you had one of those moments where you were nasty yourself. Remember how that feels like. Remember how that... What were you going through when you were nasty? Were you happy? Were you hurt? And then you understand where this nasty person is coming from. If you want to start to see the world as one, you have to practice your empathy. You have to put yourself in their shoes. You have to kind of understand, oh, this person is nasty. They must be hurting. They must be going through something so difficult that they are bursting out. Even if it's someone successful, someone you look up to, someone you look at and they're like so successful, so ahead of you, so ahead from you in life. And I want you to start imagining that you are them. What would you feel? Proud. So when you have good intentions towards others, what do you feel for other people's success? Proud. You are happy for them. So when you practice that empathy, these people that feel happy for others, okay, or sad for others, these are people that know what it feels like to be them. There is no separation. The separation is the difference. When you say, I am me and they are them, you separate. One is all is one. It comes from the perception or the perspective where you put yourself in their shoes. Not as in like, oh, what it's like to be them. No, actually think or actually imagine that you are them in that moment. And your empathy will be switched on like that. You will tolerate people's differences. You will be more understanding of their position in life. If someone is being nasty to you, you don't react. So you basically create this peace in your life from this just simple practice. Is to prevent the separation by identifying the other as different. When you start seeing people as part of who you are, and I want you to imagine that you are actually them, you will become more compassionate, more empathetic, and you will bring peace in your life. Peace that you never thought was possible. Because guess what? We live around people. If you are like me, if you are sensitive, you can feel the energies of people and you can be dragged down or dragged high. It's tough. Okay, so this perception or perspective will help you be more tolerant of others. It is okay to be upset, nasty, even mentally unstable, because these are the result of abuse, hurt for so long. Trauma can be a sickness, a disease, dis-ease. Trauma, if harbored for so long, it starts to change the chemical balance in your brain. So scientifically, this is what creates mental illnesses. This is what makes people more prone to get a mental illness in these days, or this day and age, because mental illness wasn't as much as before. And it's nothing to do with it being discovered, because humans were humans. I feel like the more stress, I feel like there is more separation, and there is the agenda of sexism, racism. These are all created because we feel separated from one another. What makes you feel different is automatically an enemy to you. But once you start to see that, oh, this is actually me in a different body, because guess what? Your soul, your spirit, your energy comes from one source. We are all connected to these threads. It's one source. And if you start to see beyond what's on the surface, whether it's race, sex, situation, background, if you start to see beyond that, you will have more connection, more tolerance, more empathy, compassion. When someone is being nasty, don't react in a way where the other is attacking the self. But think about, oh, this person, if I am them, I would probably react the same way if I was hurting the same way they were hurting. I can imagine what they went through to make them feel like this. If you start to identify the similarities between you and the other person, you basically like them right away. And I'm not saying like them as in like you have to befriend them or be with them. I'm saying empathy, understanding, compassion. That's what keeps you connected. So when you see yourself as different, just know that you are separated from the source. You are not vibrating high enough. And we all go through that. We all dip in the vibration from time to time. It's okay. I'm not saying be perfect and be like Jesus, forgiving. I love all. I love everybody. No, I'm not saying be a prophet. I'm just saying the more you tap into this energy of understanding, the more you put yourself in others' shoes, the more you will be connected to the source. What governs all of this universe energetically will be in you. You are the universe, right? This is what they say, that your energy, you are basically the representation of the universe. And there are so many theories out there. So what makes you the universe is you being connected to everything. So including the good and bad. When you see someone nasty to you, just keep that offended energy to yourself, because that offended energy is created by identifying the differences between the two of you, when really you are just looking at the surface of their being. You have to look beyond, because what's beyond is you. You, me, you, them, you, everything around you is connected. So this is a kind reminder that your perspective of the other should be your perspective of the self. When you look at someone else, try to find yourself in them. You will see them. You will see yourself in them. Just whenever you talk to someone next time, whether you like them or not, find yourself in their eyes. I promise you, you will see yourself. And you will tap into what's possibly known as their energy. Okay, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about catching negative energy, because a lot of people are like, "Ooh, I return to sender." This fear mongering shit. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not true. Yes, you can catch energy, but you can remove that energy and transmute it in the next moment, okay? It doesn't affect you for long. If you create fear from it, you will find yourself consuming it and making it bigger, okay? But to go back to the to go back to the point is to find yourself in the other is how you become more caring, loving, compassionate, tolerant. If there's someone nasty to you, you get it. You kind of get it because they're hurt. You see beyond the exterior. You see beyond what you see with your eye. You start to see them energetically. And if you connect to someone's energy, you connect to yourself, because the same energy that you have, they have too. It all comes from one source, which is the source that everyone in the spiritual community talks about. So find that, and you will live a happier, calmer, more connected life, and you will feel empowered, because your connection is not only to your spirit alone, as separated from the other, but it will be connected to the whole universe. And when you connect to that energy, let me tell you what, magical things happen. Okay? Magical things happen. All is one. One is all. Truly.